Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to this channel and give this video a like.
Check out our pod below in the description. Subscribe.
All right, Middlecoff. Niners, Saints. The 49ers, 4-5. Don't feel like it, but they are. Saints at 6-2 and dangerously healthy, it appears. Listening to Kyle Shanahan talk this week, obviously they get Ayuk back, but anybody that you've been waiting on probably isn't returning until, at the earliest, the week after the bye. They got to get to the bye at 5-5. It all rides on this, and the Saints are not a team you want to be playing right now, so it's going to get dicey.
And they re-put Kendrick Bourne earlier this week on the COVID list, so he might be a question mark. Obviously, Debo's out. Guy, they're a 9-point underdog. And since last season started, by far, I mean, they've been a 2 or 3 point underdog earlier this season. This is like bad team number. This is we don't think you have a shot to win. This is we think you're going to get your ass kicked.
Imagine if there was a crowd. What would this number? It'd be double digits, easy. It'd be 12, 13.
Do you think? I wonder if the 9, like maybe if the Saints had just played a decent game last week, it's 6.5, 7. They went into Tampa. They were up 31-0 at halftime. That game is one of the. You don't need to watch a snap of the second half because it didn't matter at all. They were up 28-0. It felt like in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Their high end with Michael Thomas, with Emmanuel Sanders, and Alvin Kamara. Like, if the Niners were fully healthy and decent, like, you'd be like, God, they'd probably still be a 2 or 3 point underdog with Jimmy Garoppolo, with Debo, and you'd be like, you got to outscore these guys. I just don't see, Guy, how Nick Mullins can play with Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara, and just with Drew, because Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, they make Drew Brees, because Drew Brees doesn't throw the ball down the field. Well, you know what you don't have to do? You have the best hybrid pass catcher, him and McCaffrey. McCaffrey's hurt, is Alvin. And then you have Michael Thomas, who's like the greatest slant runner since like Jerry Rice. He's unstoppable. So I think the Niners are this is going to be hard. To me, Guy, if they were to win this game, wouldn't it be like one of the bigger upsets of the year? It'd look nuts.
I don't know if people fully, like outside of people that watch the Niners every week, recognize how lopsided how stunning of a win it would be, given how bad they've looked with Mullins consistently, offensively. And
this team just punked Tom Brady. I mean, destroyed him.
Yeah.
Destroyed him.
I know. There's a point in the NFL where you score enough, where I like kind of cut it off. Like that doesn't, right?
But I'm just saying, I think they show you if they are into this game, which sometimes coming off a huge win, maybe there's a little letdown, especially when these guys on film are looking at the Niners are not what they were last year. If they do come in ready to roll, though, I think the Niners just don't have a chance to win. You just got to hope that they kind of come out slow and you can put together Mullins' best game since Brett Favre called him after a Thursday night game.
Yeah. No, I mean, you really, especially, but it's not just that, right? It's like you get Ayuk back. Well, great. You had him in Seattle and it wasn't close to enough, right? Because they had DK Metcalf. The Niners the last 2 weeks, I added up DK Metcalf and Devontae Adams' numbers. 22 catches, 334 yards. Held him to 3 touchdowns, John. And now you get Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Jared Cook. You don't have Tart. If I told you Jared Cook has 2 touchdowns, I don't think that would surprise you.
The one thing I will say is Devontae and DK, especially DK, but Devontae, his sweet touchdown, right, was like a go route down the left side. That ain't Michael Thomas's deal.
No.
So, and Devontae's not a speed demon, but he can play fast because he's a great route runner. Michael Thomas is not running go routes. I do. Like, though Seattle got multiple really explosive plays. To me, the Saints' explosive player is their running back. And you go, well, the Niners do have a lot of team speed up front. I don't feel like I'll be a little surprised if Alvin Kamara takes like a screen 60 yards against them.
Well, and also this would be like, this is really glass half full.
They match up.
The nice thing about
I was going to say decent, but they gave up 46 points last year.
Well, yeah, but I would say this, like the Niners maybe a little less than the last year just because they don't have Buckner and they don't have Bosa now. Their defense is
Remember Bosa made a couple plays in that game where he like chased down Drew Brees, like hit him on the ankle.
It's like getting to Drew Brees is hard to do anyway because he gets rid of the ball so fast. This team is not about getting after the quarterback this year, right? So maybe it is just a game where Fred Warner has 19, 20 tackles and it's just about keeping Alvin Kamara in front of you, letting Brees get rid of the ball quickly and trying not to give up any 7-yard throws that become 30-yard plays.
You know, one issue for the Niners playing the Saints, what that win did for them last week
Put them in the 1 seed.
is just I feel like it was a couple week stretch where everyone's like, oh, Tampa's going to win the South. Tampa's going to win the South. Now the Saints go, we have a better record than Tampa, and we beat them twice. Like, you're right. They're not just the 1 seed, but to me, they're just like, we're winning this division.
Yeah. Yeah.
And part of the way you lose a division is to fuck up a game like this. Like, if you just take care of business in the game you're heavy favorites with, you've already taken care of business against by far your biggest opponent, Tampa, twice.
And the problem is you don't, like last week they went into that game thinking we got to play our best game to win. And then it turned out they played their best game. They don't have to play their best game to win this week.
No.
New Orleans. Now, from the Niners standpoint, if you can find a way, and this is why you have to find a way.
Well, it comes down to the quarterback, right?
Well, I was just going to talk from a schedule standpoint. Like this, my point is just this is it. Because if you don't win this game, and you're 4-6, then to get to 9-7, you got to go 5-1 down the stretch after the bye. If you win the game, you're 5-5. You have 6 games left. Okay, those 6 games you got to go 4-2 in. And this scenario I'm going to lay out, you also need help. But I would say even if you beat the Saints, you would agree 10 wins that means you got to go 5-1 down the stretch. Now you get Sherman back and you get Debo back, but still. So if you win, you go 5-5 into the bye. Then you need to go 4-2 after the bye just to get to 9-7, which means you got to win Dallas and Washington, and then you still got to win 2 of Rams, Bills, Cardinals, Seahawks. And Seahawks week 17, I don't think you can count on the Seahawks given the way, to your point, New Orleans is playing, given the way Green Bay is playing. Seattle's, given the way Arizona and LA are playing, like Seattle's going to have to keep winning. So I don't think you're going to get a week 17 Seattle team that's able to pack it in. And then what you need, look at the standings. Look who's the 6th and the 7th seed right now in the NFC playoffs. It's Arizona and it's LA, and they're both 5-3. You need those teams who are halfway through the season to play the second half of the season worse than they played the first half of the season. And you need them to go 9-7. So I mean, there's a lot going on here if the Niners are going to find a way.
Well, I mean, this sucks, but you lose this game, which Vegas thinks you're going to lose by a lot. We're talking draft. I mean, it becomes a lot more. And part of it is just, it turns out, I don't really know who's better, the Rams or the Cardinals. Because I think at the end of the day, probably Arizona. I just don't like what I've seen out of Jared Goff. Now, having said that, what if the Rams beat Seattle this week? It'd be a huge win. I don't expect them to win, but if they did, all of a sudden you'd have to take them seriously. It just turned out your division was really, and we knew it. We thought coming in, and it just, the law of diminishing returns of the injuries just eventually breaks the camel's back, right? They have that many guys on IR for this long, and it's not just like, it'd be one thing if it was just Jimmy, which would have been a huge deal at quarterback. To me, Kittle, Bosa miss a combined, whatever it's going to turn out to be, 22, 25 games. Like, you don't overcome that. Like, the Saints were like, God, part of the reason we were talking shit about the Saints, not we, but just the NFL, like, Michael Thomas missed like 6-7 games. And he's clearly the best player on their team. I guess him and Alvin, but it was just, you can't, the Saints had no chance to make a run without Michael Thomas. We've seen it. When they have him, I think as we saw last year, even though they dropped the game to the Minnesota Vikings, which no one saw coming, right, in that first round playoff game, which I still think is just one of the crazier upsets of the last like 5 or 6 years.
And really helped the Niners.
Really helped the Niners. That guy, I think this team might represent the NFC because their defense has a high end that I don't think Seattle and Green Bay has. And their offense just has such a clear identity. Even though Drew can't pass down the field, they're built. They don't care. And
I would say I would bet on their coach against every other coach in the NFC.
Yeah, to me, it just I'd say Seattle would be a coin flip. Every other game, I would though.
Especially the Bucs. By the way,
it is hard to beat a team 3 times, right?
That's what they say.